I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, September the 27th, where we'd seen some early week trade just a pinch lower than that as some of your Northern Plains guys were getting nervous, and a lot of them no doubt busy with harvest and pulling the plug just a pinch lower, about 50 cents lower live and a buck lower on a dress basis. But with the board being up on Wednesday, that just halted trade altogether. Of course, your Packers were resisting, and the board sure showed that we should have at least got back to last week's steady market and higher, because it was up more than what the board was down on Monday after your bearish cattle on feed report. So by all rights, you'd have thought we'd have been at least steady and maybe higher, but they just shut everything down, and just on the outside of just some lower quality type cattle, nothing going on in the trade, and now your Packers got their heels dug in, and if the board doesn't break here late in the week, they're going to be really hard to trade with, and your Southern Plains hasn't given up an inch yet. They're still hoping for at least $1.12 or better, and so it's going to be a late week standoff again this week. Look at the board on Wednesday. It's like I talked, October live cattle futures up $1.52. That's more than they was down on Monday. But ended the day on Wednesday at 113.87. December up $1.65 to end the day at 118.85. But you know, with that spot month at $1.1387, nearly $1.14, not working with a basis like we were all spring and summer, where guys, you know, may not reach where they wanted to be, but they had a couple $3 on their basis when they got out of their hedges to help them reach where they wanted to be. Now they're losing $2 or $3 on their hedges, and they're going to be tough to trade with, and they should be. October feeder cattle up $1.82 to end the day at 158.30. September spot month, but not heavily traded, was up only 42 cents as it's trying to get aligned with cash when it goes off the board there at 157.05. Your fat cattle trade, like we talked through Tuesday, they had sold you know, almost 10,000 head of cattle there. 110.5 live, and almost all at 174 on a dress basis, are split between 173 and 175, the outliers, but your weighted average was real close to 174. But on Wednesday, just a few trickles here and there, just some cleanup deals, and like I said, some real small deals, but no continued trade like we'd seen earlier in the week, and it's going to be a tough standoff, of course, depending on what the board does here the rest of the week. But box beef cutout values drifting lower again. It seemed like we had established a bottom there last week, and it kind of came back up, and we thought maybe we'd found a bottom to the cutout values a little bit, but drifting lower again this week, especially your select. And that's widening out your choice select spread, which goes to show that more people are going into your more expensive, like rib primal cuts, and that goes to show you we're starting to already get in line with some of your holiday season type stuff, where people are going to want higher quality cuts of meat, and when they get those, they're sure going to want choice or better. But choice cuts ended the day on Wednesday at 204.85, down 88 cents, and selects 192.95, down $1.92, with a choice select spread stretching out to almost $12. But good movement. You know, when they back down those prices a little bit, you get good movement. 188 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings, and that's pretty darn good. But you know, let's talk about your corn. Has been 16% harvested to come out early this week. That compares to 10% harvested by this time last year, and only 11% for the 5-year average. So we're ahead of the game there. Guys know how good it's going to be. We're likely going to see that record yield average that USDA had guesstimated earlier. Some other things that are going on in the industry. I had a real nice guy call me from down in Texas quite a ways, and troubled about this Sam Kane deal. If you don't know, Sam Kane was a meat packer way down in South Texas, Corpus Christi, and they've been having financial woes, and it's been advertised quite a bit over the last several months. They've now closed, and he is one of the producers stuck there that had been sending them cattle for years. Not that many feedlots, commercial type feedlots in south of the Panhandle, or really south of Lubbock. But when you get down in there, those guys relied on Sam Cain to kill their cattle, and now they've been in arrears several weeks, and we're sending them cattle every week, and now it doesn't look good. You know, they've got the PNS involved. That's really going to help. But you know, probably best case scenario, you know, 25 cents or less on the dollar. And I tell you what, it hurts people pretty darn bad, especially guys down in that country, which are mostly cow-calf producers that have retained ownership. But let's look at your feeder cattle markets on Wednesday there. OKC West in El Reno, Oklahoma, 7,000 to end their two-day sale. About 5,000 head of yearling feeders on Wednesday and a couple thousand calves on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, the feeder steers $2 to $3 higher. Feeder heifers $1 to $3 higher. If you remember, on Tuesday the calves were mostly steady. Look at this report on Cattle Market Central, your automated report coming right from the block there in El Reno. But on there on your steer weights, look at 1,392 head of 7-weight steers. Average 752 at $159.96. That's scaring the heck out of $160 on the average of all their 7-weight steers, and that's over $5 higher than the weighted average on the same weight group a week ago. On the 8-weight, 792 head of 8-weight steers, average 847, just shy of 152. And that's about $1.50 higher, but that's on a weighted average trend, not you know, the best way to check a trend, but you know, the best way is to have a straight load, a pot load of cattle, same condition, same class, same weighing condition, everything, 1 week, and then comparing them right next to another one the next week. But still, that's a pretty good indication of how much better the market is. And you know, right in the face of a bearish cattle on feed report. Look at your Dodge City market and winter livestock at about 2,100 head. You look at the report here, you see 427 head of 7-weight steers. A lot of them on the heavy side. They had a weighted average weight of 775 pounds. Nearly $1.60 again, 159.18, so awful good market. And then a tick better on the 8-weight, 607 head of 8-weight steers, average 866, 154.45. That's a good market. Torrington livestock markets in Torrington, Wyoming, had a good sale on Wednesday, 2,800 head there. They called the feeder cattle steady to $2 higher. I was talking to one of my buyer friends there, and he was telling me about these couple strings of steers here, and then I found them on Cattle Market Central on an automated feed there. But 214 head of steers weighed 837 at $164. Wow. And now look at the bigger brothers, 245 of them averaged 941 at 153.75, right there through the ring in Torrington, Wyoming. Another one of my listeners sent me an email here, and guys, just, you know, I want information all the time, good information. I want to talk about all the markets. I support all the markets, True Price Discovery, and I'm here to talk about the sale barns. You know, two guys getting across from each other wanting the cattle, and then an auctioneer in between. How's it getting better than that? But Kist Livestock, Mandan, North Dakota. Look at a few quotes here. 72 head of steers weighed 788 at 166.50. Now these were all black green yearling steers coming in off grass. 61 head, 880 pound steers bring 161.50. And then a 2-load deal, 120 head of 988 pound steers bring 152.40. Kist Livestock, Mandan, North Dakota. That's your feeder flash for Thursday.